Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chandra Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Chandra Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today from Srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 18, verses, well, we'll start with verse 6, but there's several verses without purport, so we'll probably go up to, all the way up to 16. So we'll chant in Sanskrit for 6 and 7. Shri Shukra Uvacha Ekada Danavindrasya Sharmishta Namakanyaka Sakhi Sahasra Sanyukta Guru Putriya Cha Bhamini Devayanya Rojane Pushpita Druma Sankule Yacharat Kalakitali Nalini Puline Bala Shri Shukha Uvacha Ekada Danavendrasha Sharmishta Navakanyaka Sakhi Sahasra Samyukta Guru Putrya Cha Bhamini Devayanya Parojane Pushpita Druma Sankule Yacharat Kalagitali Nalini Puline Vala Shri Shukha Uvacha Ekada Danavendrasha Sharmishta Namakanyaka Sakhi Sahasra Samyukta Guru Putrya Cha Bhamini Devayanya Parojane Pushpita Druma Sankule Yacharat Kalagitali Nalini Puline Bala Shri Shukha Vacha Ekada Danavendrasha Sharmishta Namakanyaka Sakhi Sahasra Samyukta Guru Putrya Cha Bhamini Devayanya Parojane Pushpita Sankule Yachara Kalagitali Nalini Puline Bala Shri Shukha Vacha Ekada Danavendrasha Sharmishta Namakanyaka Sakhi Sahasra Samyukta Guru Putra Cha Bhamini Pushpita Druma Sankule Yacharat Kalagitali Nalini Puline Bala Shri Shukha Vacha Ekada Danavendrasha Sharmishta Namakanyaka Sakhi Sahasra Samyukta Guru Putrya Cha Bhamini Devayanya Parojane Pushpita Druma Sankule Chara Vitali Nalani Puline Bala. Okay, so word for word. Shri Sukha Uvacha. Shri Sukadev Goswami said, Ekada, once upon a time, Dhanava Indrasha of Vrishaparva, Sharmishta, Nama, my name, Kanyaka, a daughter, Sakhi Sahasra Samyukta, accompanied by thousands of friends. Guru Putriya, with the daughter of the Guru, Sukracharya. Cha, also, Bhamini, very easily irritated. Devayanya, with Devayani. Pura Ujjane, within the palace garden. Pushpita, full of flowers. Druma, with nice trees. Sankule, congested. Yacharat, was walking. Kala Gita, with very sweet sounds. Ali, with bumblebees. Nalini, with lotuses. Kuline, in such a garden. Abala, innocent. Translation. Sukadev Goswami said, one day, Vrishaparva's daughter, Samishta, who was innocent but angry by nature, was walking with Devayani, the daughter of Shukracharya, and with thousands of friends in the palace garden. The garden was full of lotuses and trees of flowers and fruits, and was inhabited by sweetly singing birds and bumblebees. When the young lotus-eyed girls came to the bank of a reservoir of water, they wanted to enjoy by bathing. Thus they left their clothing on the bank and began sporting, throwing water on one another. While sporting in the water, the girls suddenly saw Lord Shiva passing by, seated on the back of his bull with his wife Parvati. Ashamed because they were naked, the girls quickly got out of the water and covered themselves with their garments. Sarmishta unknowingly put Devayani's dress on her own body, thus angering Devayani, who then spoke as follows.
Когда Шармишка надела одежду Деваяни, та произнесла такие слова.
Oh, just see the activities of this servant maid, Samishta. Disregarding all etiquette, she has put on my dress, just like a dog snatching clarified butter meant for use in a sacrifice.
Только посмотрите, как ведет себя эта служанка Шармишка, забыв обо всех правилах приличия, она взяла мое платье, как собака найдет топленое масло, предназначенное для жертвоприношения.
We are among the qualified brahmanas. This girl is speaking, so she's brahmana, and the other her friend is the Kshatriya family. So we are among the qualified brahmanas who are accepted as the face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The brahmanas have created the entire universe by their austerity, and they always keep the absolute truth within the core of their hearts. They have directed the path of good fortune, the path of Vedic civilization, and because they are the only worshipable objects within this world, they are offered prayers and worship even by the great demigods, the directors of the various planets, and even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul, the Supreme Purifier, the husband of the Goddess of Fortune. And we are even more respectable because we are in the dynasty of Brigu. Yet, although this woman's father, being among the demons, is our disciple, she has put on my dress exactly like a Shudra taking charge of the Vedic knowledge. These are friends.
Нас, ученых Брахман, считают устами Верховной Личности Бога. Силой своей аскезы Брахманы сотворили Вселенную, в своем сердце они всегда хранят абсолютную истину. Брахманы образуют путь успеха, путь ведической цивилизации, и поскольку в этом мире они одни достойны почитания, им возносят молитвы и поклоняются великие боги, вершащие дела Вселенной. Даже сама Верховная Личность Бога, Свят Душа, его чистейший супруг богини Процветания. Мы же потомки Бригу занимаем еще более высокое положение. Хотя отец этой девушки и прочие демоны нашей семьи, она осмелилась надеть мое платье, подобно шудре, которые берутся изучать физическое знание.
Sukadeva Goswami said, when thus rebuked in cruel words, Sarmishta was very angry, breathing heavily like a serpent and biting her lower lip with her teeth. She spoke to the daughter of Sukracharya as follows.
Сам сказал эти резкие слова гневали Шармишту, закусив нижнюю губу и тяжело дыша, как змея, она так ответила Шармишту.
You beggar, since you don't understand your position, why should you unnecessarily talk so much? Don't all of you wait at our house depending on us for your livelihood like crows?
Если ты, нищенка, не знаешь своего места, зачем так много говорить? А если вы не ждете от нас подачи, затевшись к нашему дому, как воронье?
Srila Prabhupada's purport. Crows have no independent life. They fully depend on the remnants of foodstuffs thrown by householders into the garbage tank. Therefore,
Перевод ворон нет независимости. Их единственная пища – это объекты, которые хозяйки выбрасывают на помойку.
Therefore, being a brahmana depends on his therefore, because a Brahmana depends on his disciples, when Samishta was heavily rebuked by Devayani, she charged Devayani with belonging to a family of crow-like beggars.
Браман тоже целиком зависит от своих учеников, поэтому Шамишна, она сердце группы влияния, обвинила ее в том, что она принадлежит к семейству нищих, сравнив его с воробьем.
It is the nature of women to fight verbally and even a slight provocation.
Женщины склонны поступать в рамки самого ничтожного повода.
As we see from this incident, this has been their nature for a long, long time.
Из этой истории становится ясно, что такое поведение свойственно с незапамятных времен.
Om Jnana Tirandasha Ganajana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, this was, I'm not sure which age this was in. I think it was Treta Yuga. So Treta Yuga goes back how many years? And anyway, Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Dwapara Yuga was 864,000 years, and add another 432,000 years on top of that. That brings us to Treta Yuga, beginning of Treta Yuga. So long, this goes back at least until then, that this is a tendency. And we look at, because these two girls are angry, so they're saying so many not nice things to each other. And these were friends. These were good friends. But for a very insignificant situation, now they're completely upset with each other. The one girl in their rush to get dressed, because Lord Shiva was coming they saw him coming, so they immediately got out of the water and got dressed. And it wasn't just these two girls. They actually went there with thousands of friends. So you can imagine thousands of young ladies with their clothes on the bank of the river, and all of a sudden thousands of them are coming and trying to get dressed in a hurry, because Lord Shiva is coming with his wife on his bull.
Там были тысячи девушек, обнаженных, не только эти девушки пытались быстро одеться, но все они быстро пытались одеть свою одежду.
So we can see how strange, how I would say extraordinary it is that these girls were becoming angry with each other for such a very insignificant little matter.
Можем себе представить, как это необычно, что эти девушки так обиделись друг от друга, они стали ссориться из-за такой совсем уж ничтожной причины.
And in Vedic culture basically means Brahminical culture.
браманическая культура.
So it's the outside, see who's speaking. The Vedic culture means Brahminical culture, and so the Brahmanas in the Vedic culture were actually very much respected.
Браманическая культура, это значит ведическая культура, и браманы очень уважали действительно.
It was a fact, of course, that by nature the Brahmanas were dependent on the donations from others.
Конечно же, это факт, что по природе своего сословия браманы не зависели от подачи, от пожертвований.
And it was, but in Vedic culture that was considered a very, they were considered to be very, very renounced. They would beg from others was not a bad thing. And in Vedic culture, the Brahmanas didn't just go and they weren't just going and begging. Their nature, when they were begging, they received something, but they were also giving spiritual guidance. So the Brahmanas were very respected as the highest varna in the society. And yet the angry girl it's comparing them to crows. Crows are just coming and taking the remnants of our remnants.
Но обозлившаяся девушка, она сравнивает браманы с воронами, которые летают объекты.
Okay. In any case, this is, like I said, this happened sometime in Treta Yuga, so it seems a little unusual that when people were so much more purified than they are in Kali Yuga, that something like this would have come up.
В любом случае, это случилось когда-то в Трета Югу, и очень чище сознание душой, чем в Трета Югу.
But of course, now we're in Kali Yuga, and for sure in Kali Yuga, this tendency is there, not just with women, but with everyone.
Но теперь мы находимся в Кали Юге, и тенденция.
The tendency is just like like it says here, these two ladies, they became for the slightest, they say, what is called provocation. And you provoke someone, just the slightest provocation, there's always so much argument and fighting. So in Kali Yuga, this is the main quality of this age. It's the age of what? Quarrel and hypocrisy. That for no good reason, anyone will become angry and fight conflict with others. There's insignificant reasons. Because people in general are the mind is completely agitated all the time. And I'm just like you go, many times I see him, I'm driving, and I stop for a half a second at a stop sign, which we're supposed to stop. Immediately somebody behind me is, beeping their horn to get out of the way, hurry up.
Когда я за рулем на полсекунды останавливаюсь у знака стоп, то тут же кто-то за мной начинает бибикать и так вот пытается что-то напрягать.
And although that's a very small, insignificant situation, the tendency is there all the way up to within our planet, all the way up to international levels. This conflict is there.
Хоть это довольно незначительный пример, но эта тенденция существует везде, начиная от маленьких вещей, заканчивая интернациональными политиками.
And it's there because of the bodily concept of life.
Все это существует из-за того, что мы считаем себя.
Srila Prabhupada wrote an essay. He wrote something once. Many years ago. It was there when I joined the movement. He called it the peace formula.
Srila Prabhupada написал эссе, статью давно, дальше.
And it was based on the Bhagavad Gita verse, verse number, but Bhoktarang Yagatapasam Sarvam Lokamaheshwaram Saridam Savadehinam Shati.
Статья была основана на стихе.
Anyway, the verse describes how if one understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the owner and controller of everything, and so on like that, only by understanding that can there be peace.
Если человек понимает, что Кришна, он владелец всего в мире, то тогда мир на всем мире.
And that is, and we could see that. We could see everywhere that if any conflicts that we have between one person and another, one country and another, like that, is because usually it's based on envy. You have something that I want.
Мы это видим, что любой конфликт между людьми и между странами, в основе существует из-за зависти, потому что кто-то хочет что-то имущество, я хочу то, что у тебя есть.
But Lord Krishna has made it very clear that, this side and this side, nobody can say that I own anything, and anything is mine. Because Krishna says, I am the source of everything. Everything belongs to me.
Господь Кришна, он объясняет, что никто ни эта сторона, ни эта сторона, они по факту ничем не владеют. Он владеет всем, Кришна владеет всем.
So if the population of the world was understood clearly that everything belongs to Krishna, and therefore everything should be used in Krishna's service, then there would be peace. In fact, it'd be Vaikuntha.
Если мировое население понимало, что все принадлежит Кришне, все, что здесь есть, нужно использовать в служении Кришне, тогда бы во всем мире был мир.
Vaikuntha, the word Vaikuntha means a place without anxiety.
Само слово Вайкунта означает место, где есть страх.
And of course, Vaikuntha means the spiritual world, not the heavenly planets.
Конечно же, Вайкунта значит духовный мир, подразные планеты.
Because on the heavenly planets, the inhabitants are basically in the mode of goodness, otherwise they wouldn't be able to be there.
райские планеты, они составляют власть.
But everyone, even on the heavenly planets, everyone is in so much anxiety.
Но даже на райских планетах все находятся в состоянии такого беспокойства.
In fact, I'm not sure if where this is taking place here. This history, but even on the heavenly planets, then there's so much anxiety constantly.
И даже на райских планетах там очень беспокойство постоянно.
Srila Prabhupada gives a nice example, comparative example. He says, it's just like if someone on this planet is living in a very poor neighborhood. They're very poor. Everyone around them is very poor, but they're thinking about the rich people with the big houses and 2 or 3 cars and boats and so many things like that. And they're thinking, oh, if I could only have a lot of money, I could be happy like them.
Так что Шрила сравнивает, что так же, как на нашей планете кто живет в бедном районе, и он говорит, о, если бы только я попал в более богатую провинцию, если бы у него больше денег, я бы жил в машине, в дома.
But Srila Prabhupada says that but the rich people, the people who have the big houses and cars and so many things and a lot of money, they're in so much anxiety. They're in so much anxiety themselves.
В то же время богатые люди, которые большие дома, эти машины, они тоже постоянно находятся в постоянном спокойствии насчет, они думают, как бы удержать это все богатство.
They're in anxiety. I got money, but now who's going to take my money?
Они находятся в беспокойстве, потому что они думают, сейчас у людей есть кто-то может прийти, забрать эти деньги.
Or they're thinking, all these people that say they're my good friends, are they actually my good friends, or they're pretending like that to get some material benefit from me?
И они думают, они сейчас все эти друзья, но они являются ли друзьями, настоящими моими друзьями, или они только хотят себе денег.
And then, of course, they all, and that's not just people outside, people in the family also. I have money, but who's going to really, maybe everyone's just waiting for me to die so that they can take my money. They don't really care about me.
Не только друзья, но также члены моей семьи, они по-настоящему любят и хотят заботиться обо мне, и я просто умру, чтобы забрать свои деньги.
And then, but anyway, Srila Prabhupada was making a comparison. So he says on this planet, the poor people are thinking the rich people are happy. The rich people are realizing that I have all this and I'm not happy. So what to speak of on the same thing of, translate that part.
И также, как на вашей земле, бедные люди думают о богатстве и счастье. Богатые, они думают, и теряют свое богатство, тоже спокойно, постоянно.
But the comparison Srila Prabhupada actually made was just like in Vedic culture, everyone, not everyone, but almost everyone, a very large portion of society was engaged in, sacrifices and worshiping the demigods and different things like that. Why? Because they're thinking, if I go to the heavenly planets, I'll live a very, very long time, and there's so much descriptions of the heavenly planets that is there in the Vedas. So I will go there and I will enjoy so much. So I will perform sacrifice now and I'll go there, and then I'll be very happy.
И ведические времена все сословия, богатые и бедные, они все участвовали в ягодах, они жертвовали постоянно, совершали обряды, они хотели попасть на разные планеты, чтобы жить там дольше и наслаждаться еще больше.
But Prabhupada says on the heavenly planets there's so much anxiety. They have everything. They're thinking, but the demigods are thinking, when are the demons who are going to come from other planets? When are they going to come here and they're going to take over and take everything away from us?
Ну, тоже время на разных планетах, там тоже очень много беспокойства, потому что полубоги, они думают, когда же демоны придут и заберут у нас все эти богатства.
And it would happen sometimes. The demons would become very powerful and come in, and all the demigods had to go other places and hide and leave their place, their homes, out of fear of the demons.
И иногда так и случается, когда демоны завоевывают разные планеты, и полубогам богам приходит убежать и прятаться в других местах.
So Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, out of from the Brahma Bhavanaloka Punar Avartino from the highest planet in the material world to the lowest planet, all are places of misery where repeated birth and death take place.
И Господь Кришна говорит, тоже известный стих от Брахма Бхаванaloka, что начиная с самых низших планет и до разных планет, материальный мир, все места страдания.
So the only way to become actually happy and not find ourselves in situations like we are reading about here is to become Krishna conscious. It means transcend the material concept.
Единственный путь стать счастливым – это стать привести сознание Кришны.
And that is anyway. The process is very practical in this age. The process is simply chanting the holy names of the Lord.
Это очень практичный процесс воспевания святых имен.
Of course, we have our conflicts as it happens in the material world, but we can, by following this process, we can become transcendental to those situations and ultimately go back to the spiritual world.
Конечно, у нас есть свои проблемы материального мира, но следуя этому процессу, мы становимся уникальными, можем все это преодолеть и избежать какой-то ситуации, которая здесь описывается.
And in the spiritual world, like I said, Vaikuntha means a place without anxiety, material anxiety.
И духовный мир, Вайкунта, это значит мир без спокойствия.
So, and there's no anxiety because everyone in the spiritual world is well aware that Krishna or Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, and the interest of everyone is how can I please the Supreme Lord? There's no conflict because every living entity is thinking how can I please the Supreme Lord.
И, конечно же, в духовном мире нет материального беспокойства, что все думают не о том, как хватить что-то, а о том, как я могу ублажить, послужить Вишну, как я могу его сделать счастливым для себя.
So, and although of course we have, practice of Krishna consciousness, there are sometimes conflicts of different kinds. But if we follow this process, then we can gradually become transcendental to those kind of situations.
Конечно, даже в создании Кришны тоже существуют проблемы, конфликты. Но если мы следуем этому процессу, то мы постепенно становимся уникальными по всем проблемам.
And we become transcendental gradually because we gradually realize that I am spirit soul, I'm servant of Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna, and the only thing that I want is to engage in his service under any circumstance.
И мы постепенно становимся конфликтами, потому что мы понимаем, что я душа, я слуга, и я должен служить и волноваться.
Anyway, there's a couple of points on these verses. Any questions or comments? Anyone? Yes. Oh, we have a yeah, so everyone can hear.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for class. I will say, as someone in a woman body, of this advice of scope, that there are some days that definitely any word can cause provocation. And it leads to that. And I think what helps us as devotees is the holy names and positioning us to what we're here to do. Because you have everybody that's staying there and just quarreling everywhere. And our duty position is to not be like that. So yeah, Krishna could be happy.
And Srila Prabhupada said that he said after I leave, your love for me will be shown by how well you cooperate with each other in carrying on this mission. So that's, we would say, I love Srila Prabhupada. I love Srila Prabhupada. Okay, prove it by working together and carrying on the mission of spreading Krishna consciousness.
И по заданным вопросам и комментариям, наверное, добавил, что особенно для женщин это актуально, наш век, эти проблемы возникают. Но самое главное, так сказать, цветы вина и понимать нашу позицию как слуг Богу, и тогда эти проблемы становятся решить проблемы. И ответ был то, что Прабхупада, он хотел, чтобы мы показали свою любовь ему через то, как мы сотрудничаем друг с другом. Это то, что он сказал, что вы покажете, насколько вы меня любите, тем, как вы регулируете, как вы дружите друг с другом, сотрудничаете.
And Srila Prabhupada also mentions, because on one hand, according to Srimad-bhagavatam, this tendency is more prominent in women to argue and fight like that. But Srila Prabhupada also says, he gives the other side, that women have a natural tendency to be, they say, faithful, have faith in Krishna, faith in God.
И в то же время Прабхупада добавил, что хоть и у женщин есть, они немножко больше склонны ссориться, ругаться, они также имеют склонность иметь больше веры в Бога.
So Prabhupada gives the example that if you go to other religions and churches and so on outside, of course, a lot of people don't go anymore, but those who are there, a lot of times are the women.
Если мы посмотрим на другие религии, то мы видим, что самые женщины, которые ходят в церковь, практикуют регулярно.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, so we'll end for today. Tomorrow we'll start with verse 17. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.